Hello there, QWERTY viewers. My name is Michael Tripodi, and I'm the current OCR holder for 5 blind mean, which is ranked 3rd in the world, and I'm also ranked 8th in the world for 5 blind single. If you want to follow along with this reconstruction that I'm doing today, I'd recommend you scramble in your solving orientation. Mine is yellow top, green front, and I am going to be scrambling in that orientation as well, using the scramble that's on screen now. Okay, so this is what the cube looks like in my scramble orientation. I'm going to get started with memoing plus centers. Usually I would use fingers to keep track of what centers already shot to. However, for the sake of the video, I am not going to do that. And my main process is that I start from the UF buffer, and then I will avoid U face centers as well. So in this case, I'll avoid yellow centers until they're the last centers on a face I can shoot to. So for example, starting here, I would go to V instead of U because, well, it's yellow. I avoid that until later. So V, Q, J, M, E, S, and then that's my first image. I'll go into my second image. K, F, O, W, R, because I've got no centers on that face left to shoot to, up to A. I use specs, by the way, for the most part. Pretty standard stuff, if you couldn't tell from the tracing I've already done. From there we have T, D, X, P, H, and TU, and that finishes plus center tracing. Going to X centers after that, I use UBL for my buffer. And from there, same thing, avoiding U face centers, just going clockwise around each face. U, I, E, S, M, K, T, F, V, Q, B, W, L, H, X, O, R, A, P, G, D, and J to finish up. Usually I would go back and review that once, just the plus center and X center tracing, but again, for the sake of the length of this video, I'm not going to do that, so I'm just going to go straight into midge tracing, but usually I would review centers. Midge tracing, I treat midge tracing exactly like weak swap for multi-blind, basically just because they act the exact same as edges on a 3x3, and I don't know if I have parity yet. So from here, from UF, sorry, G, J, U, Q. Now usually I would cycle break, but because I'm weak swapping and I haven't solved UR yet, I'm going to pseudo solve that. So that would be M, W, there. H, and now that's my buffer because I'm pretending that I have UF and UR swapped until I know whether or not I have parity. So I'll cycle break to there because there to there is a pretty fast com. So H, L, V, N, D, and back to L. So that's an even number of pairs, and we noted that we pseudo solved the buffer to UR. So we have parity. UF and UR are going to be swapped. So just keep that in mind with chasing midges, and that's, well, it's important right away because usually this would go here, but because we're doing UF-UR swap, this edge here, sorry, wing, this wing here will go to there, I, E, and now that's my buffer, so I have to cycle break. If I'm not in the middle of a com and Q is free, I'll pretty much always cycle break to Q. That whole set is pretty fast. So Q, R, J, O, G, D, T, F, X, W, K, S, B, N, H, A, Q, and that's, well, we cycle broke to there, so that's the end of that cycle. I've got to go from Q to somewhere else. I know that I haven't done U yet, so I'll do Q, U, L, V, and U. That's the end of wing tracing, and usually in a solve again I'd go back and review midges and wings again for the sake of time. Not going to do that, but basically I'd two pass centers, midges and wings, and then after I've done that I'll just audio corners and then get straight into execution. So from UFR is my corner buffer, I have H, and that's my buffer, so I need a cycle break. I'll typically cycle break to B in most cases if it's free, because it is a very fast set. So H to B, in this case B is free, so I'll just do that. B, D, V, G, and N, and that's, we're back at that piece, so I have to cycle break again. And first place I always look is up here, A to W. That's what I do in a solve. Looking at it now, you can probably see that going from O to A is faster, but I'm just doing what I would do in a solve. I would just find a solution rather than the fastest solution and do it. So after W, we have R as a parity target, and I'll just visual that and keep it in my head until the end of the solve. So I'll go straight into audioing corners. We have H, B, all of the algs are going to be on screen as well. Very simple 8 mover. D, V, it's the 7 move insert. G, N, A, W. And I'll just hold that corner parity target until I've set up the UFUR swap, which will be at the very end basically. Onto plus centers, I had VQ, pure commutator, pretty standard. J, M, I slice this M to the back, sorry, that sticker to the back, and then do a com that cancels at the end into a U wide. E, S, do a U wide setup, which sets up an M2 interchange, which I can do that for. KF, I use an alg that's basically similar to this wide insert, the wide U insert for X centers. I do the same kind of thing for plus centers here, K to F, where I do a 3U wide and insert into the buffer that way. Solves both of those targets. O, W, I do a D wide, which sets O up to there and W up to there, and that's a pure com. You can do the U and D wide simultaneously. I would do that in a solve, but just not in demonstration. R to A, I rotate, so it's there to there from this buffer. Rotate back. T, D, I do a U prime, 3L wide into commutator. I messed that up. Okay, I think I fixed it. Just for demonstration, I'll do that again. Did I have TD? Yeah, okay, so I had that. And then, yep, that cancels. X, H, sorry, I've mistraced. X, P, I do a double rotate. Probably not a great com, but like, sets up into an 8 mover, so that's not bad. H, U, doing those, that D, R wide prime sets this up into the back. skews my turning. And then that sets back up to there. Plus center's done. X centers, U, I just do D setup, and then it's a pure com, and you can do simultaneous move at the end. E, S, I rotate, sets up an interchange here. Well, it's already an interchange there, but easier one to use from this angle. Rotate back. M, K, I use a bit of a strange, I don't know if it's strange or if it's standard, but I don't know if I like it that much. I might look if there's something better. T, F, R slice to set up nice 9 mover. There to there, V to Q, I rotate up like that. So now it's, yeah, that to that to that. I basically just memorize it as an alg, which is not good. Even though it's very clearly a commutator. B, W, I do a L, 3L wide, and then D prime. Sets up there to there. Sorts that out. L, H, I rotate, and then I use the U wide move I was demonstrating on the other cube. The U wide insert. X to O, do a D setup. Actually finger trick that with the D, not how I just did it. And then R into this alg. Simple pure com. Wrong setup, a bit tired. R to A, I just do like a, it's not a 9 mover, it's 11 or something like that, but it's same sort of thing. P to G, I rotate U to set up this interchange, and then do the same wide move insert that I've been referencing throughout this video. And then what I'll do if I have something, well, if my last alg in X centers is buffer to a U face target to another target, is that, well, you can see here it's basically a pretty easy floating alg, or floating 2-swap, pseudo 2-swap, I don't know what you call it, cycles a solved center. I'd just do that. It's a easy time save and pretty risk free. Onto midges now. Got G to J. I just improvise comms for these. I've learnt algs for every other piece type, but for midges I improvise because I am lazy. U, Q. And simultaneous move. M to W. H, cycle broke to L. Rotations in midge algs I think aren't that bad. I say that even though I rotate for basically all piece types except corners. So take my words with what you will. V, N, R, D prime into pure. Again, another simultaneous move. They're very cool. And then last midge alg D to L. I'll kind of half rotate up, but what I'll really do is that I'll just bring these 4 R layers down into insert, interchange, and then do simultaneous L and then 4R wide, I think, yeah. And that's also midges done. Now wings have I to E. I use this alg in comp a lot. I don't know why it's come up so much, but it's not good. It's probably one of my worst algs, I'll be real. but it's one that I use. 3R wide too to set the buffer back here, and then com like that. It's probably better if I fix the centers I did on my other cube. It's probably better to do something like set up an interchange there, and then this piece is now here, and then you can do like D moves. I don't know. I think when I came up with my wing algs, I wasn't a huge fan of D moves, but I'm slowly starting to warm to them. So I might switch to that alg in the future. Q to R, really nice pure 8 mover, quite good. J O, D prime, another simultaneous move. G D, I just use the pure L and U slice thing, easy. T F, same as an edge alg, or same as, yeah, the standard edge alg on 3x3. X W, pure com with L2 and R2. K S, I just do a U setup into inserting that into here with D2 interchange, and then more simultaneous moves. B N, again I just use the edge alg on 3 blind basically for that. H A, I do, yep, again the edge alg where I flick D like that. Or what I'll probably do most of the time is flick S, kind of like that, rather than pushing, like that, and then I'll flick with my ring finger to bring that back. Q, and then we cycle broke to U, start off with a simultaneous move this time. LV, set that up to the back for the R2 interchange. Now I have U as a parity target. The way I think about this one is that it's almost like an X to the lefty of there to there, that parity alg, the one on Stanley's channel. But instead of doing X and then L wide, you can just do 3R wide. Continue the alg lefty. Finish the alg like that. And then I have here to here, parity target, just L setup, J-perm. Ending cancels, obviously. And that's basically my thought process. I think the order I do my exec in isn't great, and I'm looking to change that, specifically on solves with parity, just because oftentimes I will either forget I have parity or I will forget what my parity target is. But luckily neither of those things have happened officially, so it doesn't matter, it's off the record. Alright, cheers.